Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're exploring a concept that completely flips how we think about generating wealth. We're stepping away from the exhausting hustle culture to uncover a totally life-changing idea. Here it is. Don't follow money, let money follow you because of the person you become. Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever wondered, what if literally everything you've been taught about making money is just completely backward? Society basically brainwashes us into believing that the daily grind, the frantic hustle to make a buck, is the only way to get ahead. We think wealth is this elusive thing out there that we have to hunt down and capture. But what if that very act of hunting is exactly what's keeping you exhausted, burned out, and frustrated?
It all really boils down to a fundamental shift in mindset. Think about scarcity versus abundance. When we operate from scarcity, we genuinely believe resources are extremely limited, which forces us into this frantic mode of chasing after things. And honestly, it's exhausting. But an abundance mindset, that's totally different. That is rooted in the core belief that there is plenty to go around. Instead of frantically chasing, you adopt a confident, grounded posture. You start to realize that what you seek can actually come to you naturally. You just have to shift your focus from what you're lacking to the immense potential you literally already possess.
All right, let's break this down. Section 1. The illusion, the trap of chasing wealth.
We've all felt like this at some point, right? Picture a frantic chase after a flying dollar bill with a butterfly net. It's kind of a funny image, but tragically, it's pretty accurate. Operating from a mindset of lack and desperation actually repels success. Seriously, it pushes it away. Why? Because your energy tells on you every single time. Whether you're trying to sell a service, pitch a client, or interview for a job, people can feel that desperate, grabby energy, and it just pushes the exact opportunities you want right out the door.
The absolute crucial point to remember here is this: money follows value, not the other way around. People who chase money directly almost always end up incredibly dissatisfied. If you look at the actual data on self-made millionaires, they very rarely start with the sole intention of just getting rich. Nope. They begin with a massive inner drive to build something, to serve people, and to create something genuinely meaningful. For them, the money is just a natural byproduct of the massive value they deliver.
Which brings us to Section 2, the revelation, the great paradigm shift.
Now, we hit a heavy-hitting principle from the legendary thinker Jim Rohn. He said to have more than you got, become more than you are. I love that. He taught that getting and becoming are essentially Siamese twins. They cannot be separated. What you become directly influences what you get. So if you want a better income, you can't just stand there and demand it from the universe. You have to fundamentally upgrade the person looking back at you in the mirror.
And let's stack that with this brilliant insight from Brian Tracy. He points out that to rise above the majority, you actively have to develop qualities and disciplines that the average person simply doesn't have. To achieve truly great financial success, the most important factor actually isn't the money itself. No way. It's that rare, special kind of person you have to become to earn that money in the first place, and, maybe even more importantly, to hold on to it once you actually have it.
If we put all this together, we arrive at Orison Swett Marden's classic definition of prosperity. Now take a close look at this. Notice what's missing from his definition: the word cash. True prosperity is so much broader than just your bank balance. It's the disciplined alignment of your thought, your character, and your purposeful action toward creating value. It encompasses your usefulness, your personal growth, and what you actually contribute to society.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this isn't just some passing internet trend or a flashy, modern, get-rich-quick scheme. Not at all. This is established, timeless wisdom. As Brian Tracy points out in the source material, these principles have been discovered and rediscovered over and over for hundreds of years. This miracle of personal development is the absolute bedrock of any lasting wealth.
Moving right along to Section 3, the crucible, the fundamentals of value.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? The transformation requires a very specific sequence to completely rewire how we generate wealth. Step 1, you absolutely must change your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Step 2, build discipline. The sources are super clear on this. Discipline is the foundation on which all success is built. It's the intelligent activity that, puts a lid on your temper and a faucet on your courtesy. And finally, step 3, you turn outward and focus relentlessly on serving others. That specific sequence is exactly why Jim Rohn has this ironclad rule. Income rarely exceeds personal development. Sure, sometimes you get lucky. Maybe your income takes a sudden jump. But listen, unless you quickly learn to handle the massive responsibilities that come with it, that money is going to shrink right back down to the exact amount you can currently handle. As he used to joke, if someone hands you $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire.
All right, let's rapid fire through some daily habits of self-made millionaires. First up, pay yourself first. Save and invest at least 10% of your income right off the top. Second, the 40-plus formula. 40 hours a week is just for survival, but everything over that, that's for your success. Third, become a lifelong student. Learn every single detail of your business. Fourth, absolutely obsess over serving your customers. And finally, be decisive. Take action. You've got to try far more things than the average person does.
So why do those habits actually work? Well, it all comes down to the iron law of human destiny, the law of cause and effect. Nature is neutral, guys. The marketplace doesn't care who you are. Success is not some magical accident. If you simply replicate the causes, like those daily disciplines we just outlined, you will inevitably experience the effects. If you just do what successful people do over and over, you're eventually going to get the exact same results they get.
And a huge chunk of those actions must be directed outward. As Zig Ziglar perfectly put it, your rewards in life will always be in direct proportion to your service to other people. Self-made millionaires are continually, obsessively asking how they can give their customers better value. You have to constantly look for opportunities to go that extra mile. And as the old saying goes, there are never any traffic jams on the extra mile, right? Let's see how all of this builds into the ultimate sequence of success. Embodiment comes first. You literally have to embody the change and the discipline yourself before anything else happens. Once you embody it, your actions naturally align with your goals. That alignment then allows you to create incredible value. And what happens next? The money naturally follows that value. Most people try to start at the end of this sequence, and honestly, that's exactly why they fail.
But hey, you cannot do this alone. Get this, fully 85% of your success and happiness is going to be determined by the quality of your relationships. Your reference group, the people you habitually spend time with, they dictate your standard of normal. If you truly want to attract wealth, you must deliberately associate with winners. Hang out with people who have a strong purpose and who actively pull you toward your highest goals.
Which brings us to our final section. Section 4, the consequence, the magnetism of prosperity.
When you develop an above-average handshake, an above-average smile, and an above-average intensity to win, you literally become a force of nature. You start to just glow with competence. You no longer have to frantically chase down opportunities. Instead, your character and your value turn you into a human magnet, effortlessly drawing success right to you.
To bring it all together, we look again to Jim Rohn. He reminds us to avoid looking for exotic, mysterious answers. Success, wealth, and happiness are no more than the natural consequence of consistently applying the fundamentals to your life. There's no secret magic trick. It's just the highly predictable results of doing the hard, necessary things day in and day out.
And the sources really highlight that this miracle of personal development, it lasts a lifetime. The great axiom of life is that unless you change how you are, you will always have exactly what you've got. You have to constantly ask yourself on the job, not what am I getting, but rather what am I becoming?
So I have to ask you, and really think about this. Are you living according to your true potential, or are you just living according to your conditioning? Are you just doing what society taught you, blindly chasing the dollar, endlessly running on that treadmill? Or are you ready to tap into your remarkable ability to consciously strive, develop yourself, and create real, lasting value?
And that leaves us with this final, lingering thought to close out our explainer today. If money follows value, and value follows the exact person you are, who do you need to become today to attract the wealth of tomorrow? It's time to stop chasing and start becoming. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I challenge you, take action on your personal development right now. Catch you next time.